Mike Pence has already called out Trump for skipping yet another debate, saying that he ought to be on that stage and that Trump owes it to the voters to answer the tough questions. So with that said, will the former vice president answer tough questions himself? He's a household name, but he's still polling in the single digits, even after a much talked about performance during the last debate. And if he wants to take votes away from his former boss, well, he'll have to turn heads and change minds. ABC News Live prime anchor Lindsay Davis actually sat down with Pence prior to tonight's debate and asked him about his former running mate.
Donald Trump and others are following a siren song of populism and want to lead our party to a whole different range of policies that I think will ill serve the nation as we try and find our way out of the failures of the Biden administration.
Joining me now from Simi Valley, California, Pence campaign advisor, senior advisor, Devin O'Malley. Devin, good to see you again. So just referring to what the former vice president just said, what policies is he talking about in that clip? Pence and Trump were basically in lockstep during the entire Trump administration. Now, all of a sudden, he disagrees?
Yeah, well, I mean, where do I begin, Kira? And thanks for having me. I mean, first and foremost, the former president has walked away on the cause of the right to life. This is administration. Mike Pence championed the nomination and confirmation of 3 conservative Supreme Court justices that led to the overturning of Roe v. Wade. And it's something that Donald Trump refuses to embrace and acknowledge as a historic moment. As this debate is being sponsored, by some business channels, the focus will be on economic policy. And the former president is currently articulating a plan to essentially tax consumer goods at a rate of 10% by subjecting imports to tariffs. I mean, this is at a time where the country is really experiencing 16% inflation. Wage growth, is not accelerating at all. Americans are hurting at the kitchen table. I mean, you heard from one of your other contributors earlier that gas prices are up to $6 a gallon, and now Donald Trump wants to tax consumer goods 10% more. I mean, it really is crazy to think about. These are not conservative policies at all.
So I heard a former campaign manager say this morning that when it comes to beating Trump, the only way to take away his votes is to draw blood, go after him with every negative blow possible, because being the nice guy just isn't going to cut it with the lead that Trump has. So is Pence going to be that shark in the water tonight?
Kira, you and I have talked about this a little bit before when you've had me on. Mike Pence wants to restore civility to politics. I think it's something that we desperately need in our politics these days. I think our campaign strategy is a little bit different. I think we view this race differently than what some of the conventional wisdom out there thinks of it as. I view the race that this is a race to take on Donald Trump head to head. Rick was talking about earlier a race for second place or a race for donor dollars. This is a race to take on Donald Trump, and I think when we have that opportunity to take him on head on, there's going to be a contrast on policy, a contrast on character, a contrast on leadership. And I think when voters, Iowa caucus goers, New Hampshire primary voters are faced with that contrast, I think that they'll realize that Mike Pence is the most qualified, the most tested, the one with the most consistent character, and really the more traditional conservative in the race.
But Devin, that doesn't seem to be working. I mean, restoring civility sounds great, and Pence is sticking to wanting to present himself as this type of candidate and focused on character. But that hasn't gained any traction in the poll numbers, and Trump's consistent lead right now within the party. So he's got to do something differently tonight. What will it be?
Well, listen, I think that Donald Trump is essentially running as an incumbent, and therefore he needs to win Iowa. He needs to have a strong Iowa showing. He hasn't really been in the state at all, and Iowa caucus goers are first in the nation because they are discerning. And they really want to put candidates to the test. Mike Pence is going to visit all 99 counties. We've been there probably over 60 times now. And this is a race where he's going to go county to county and show that contrast that I spoke of earlier with caucus goers. And this is a marathon. It's not a sprint, Kira. Mike Pence has been in the fight for 30 years. Let's not confuse bombast and Twitter, Twitter tirades with actual strength here. Mike Pence has the ability to connect with voters and to understand that the challenges that they face and communicate what his vision is for the country. And I think that's going to win out at the end of the day.
So let me follow up on restoring civility, the center of what you say Mike Pence is trying to do here. Senator Bob Menendez, Democratic colleagues are now lining up, insisting that he resigns as he faces these bribery charges. This is now the second time the senator has been indicted. Donald Trump, the leading GOP candidate in this race, has been charged in 4 criminal cases just this year. Should Trump bow out of this race because of his indictments? Can he truly represent the GOP amid all his legal drama?
Donald Trump asked Mike Pence to put himself before the Constitution on January 6th. And for that, I think that he should probably never be president. But really, this is a decision that American voters have to make, Kira. And I think as we go through this process, they're going to be faced with, a lot of choices. They're going to be faced with choices on candidates' character. They're also going to be faced with choices on what the candidates actually stand for. And as we discussed earlier, Donald Trump has walked away from the conservative values and principles that he and Mike championed when they were in office together. I mean, this is an administration that passed the most historic, largest tax cuts in the history of this country. Gas prices, energy independence was at its highest levels. They appointed Supreme Court justices that overturned Roe v. Wade and have changed the makeup of the court. Donald Trump doesn't believe in any of that anymore, and so I think we're gonna see how American voters make their choice in the coming weeks and months.
All right, we'll be watching tonight. Devin O'Malley, great to see you again. Thanks so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.